Okay, excellent. So I am here with Bella from. Well, I don't know what your. Is it just Bella on Suno? I forget. Or is it Bella Music or something?
Yes,
It's just
I'm
Bella.
béla.
Okay. So yeah, so Bella, I found Bella maybe like 4 months ago by accident. I don't even remember who, if someone shared you or if I just saw you on there. But the quality right away stood out, and also your stuff was very consistently like a very certain sound, at least at the time. And I very much enjoyed it. It got me very interested, and I got a lot of other people in the group really liked your music, and so we just started. So Bella joined into Discord and started sharing more stuff here. It's been really awesome. But so what I'm really curious about is to find out, starting more about you. What's your relationship with art, and do you make music outside of here, outside of generative AI? Like, what's your obviously you're in a library, and I know you said you're a director of a library, which can be related to art, but at the same time, do you make music, etc.?
Well, I'm not an artist.
Very cool.
I'm a director of this library,
Right.
and but my wife is a musician.
Oh, cool.
She's playing on cello, and I got 5 kids. We got 5 kids,
Nice.
and
Congratulations.
all of them. Thank
Also,
you.
also, I hope you get some sleep. No, but yeah, five. It's wonderful. Yes.
And sometimes an exchange student
Nice.
from Japan.
Oh,
She
very
was
cool.
a violinist. She
Wow.
lived here for 1 year and learning Bartók, the music
Wow.
of Bartók.
That's awesome.
Yes, so my daughter's playing on harp and flute.
Okay.
My son's playing on guitar and horn.
And you're
uh,
playing. You're playing on the AI. It's.
yes, but you know, when uh, I was I'm aging, and
Oh.
the Suno and the music was a health project and not an art project for me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I started to learn playing on guitar
Okay.
uh, when I in my uh, 50th birthday. My wife bought me a guitar, and I started to play on it, but not because of the music, but because it is good for the brain.
True. Yes.
Uh, for the tactility, I didn't play guitar before. It's not true. I played, but it's a long story. So I didn't play guitar, and the doctor told me that it is good for the brain because
Yes.
I work with my brain. It is very important to learn new things,
Yeah. 100%.
and if you learn music, uh, your brain will be healthy. It is the same for me, like the everyday walk.
Mm-hmm.
I walk 10, uh, 15 kilometer every day for my health, and
Nice. So,
and I
so
and I
you're just
play
using
every day.
Suno. It's like you're just like a super healthy guy who works in a library and has a big family who does music. And so the primary focus for you for music was literally your brain and your physical health, etc. It's very interesting.
Yes, it was.
I think that's a very
Uh,
valid perspective. I think, especially as you see people aging, one of the things I always tell people something very similar. There's no loss to you do something new, like even with its AI or whatever, you're challenging yourself in a new way. There's no way that's going to be bad in terms of worst case scenario. If it's just a hobby or whatever, you're still learning a new project, doing something new, and improving. In English, it's called neuroplasticity. You're
yes,
helping
it
your
is
brain create more.
neuroplasticity.
Exactly.
Yes,
So you're improving the connections, and especially as we get older, we have more crystallized intelligence, but your neuroplasticity goes down, as your doctor rightfully mentioned. So doing new activities helps to keep you, especially with 5 kids, you got to keep up with them. So you got to have some of that so you can keep up with what's going on in the world. So that's awesome. And so now that leads me into an interesting question, because For you, it's not really, you don't consider yourself an artist, and you're kind of doing this as a hobbyist thing. Has that changed at all for you as you've created, or you still feel strongly for you it's essentially an activity for your health? What's your perspective on it? And I won't judge you based on your perspective. I want to hear your take on that kind of thing. I'm very interested.
I like music very much. When I was a little child, with my father, we went to Czechoslovakia. It was a country. Now it is Slovakia, because the guitar was cheaper than there, and I started to learning playing on guitar in the village of my father's grandparents, but from a wandering Roman musician. Because there wasn't music teacher, and
Right.
but he was most of the time he was drunk and smelled awful. So I finished my career in this time. Yes, because I liked Iron Maiden very much. When I was little kid, it was the golden age of the heavy metal,
Yeah, yeah.
and uh, and I lived in an occupied country under Soviet occupation. We
Wow.
couldn't go anywhere, and there was only the music from the free world,
Wow, that's wild.
and
Which you
and it was.
at the time you're saying when you were a child, you live in Hungary, correct? And it was occupied
I
by.
live, yes, now I lived in Hungary. The library is in my hometown.
Ah, okay.
I was born here, and yes,
Wild.
and the music was very important for my life, but not like a musician. Uh, and later, it was not only heavy metal, Velvet Underground, The Cure, and others. And later, when I when I was adult, Bach, Dvorak, the classical composers. Uh, but my younger brother, uh, in this summer, the Iron Maiden came to Budapest.
Oh,
It
cool.
was the 50. Yes, they started their work, the European tour here in Budapest, and it was the 50th birthday of the Iron Maiden at the same time like mine,
Oh, that's
and
incredible. Did you were you
it was it was. Now I don't like heavy metal so much,
right, right.
because Bach or Mozart is much better, and my family, everyone playing classical music in my family.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
But it's your
I,
childhood, Iron Maiden, especially you're saying you
yes,
connected with it at a time when there was very strong censorship. I mean, that must have
it
been
was
impactful.
couldn't dream in my childhood that I can go to an Iron Maiden concert, and it was like a dream. It was crazy.
That's
I
incredible.
know it was incredible. I got connection with the music, but I'm not a musician. It's just a health project for me, and when I'm writing music, it's not heavy metal and not my childhood.
Yeah, I
You
hear the
know,
Velvet Underground in there. I hear now that you've mentioned those, I can definitely hear the influence of not the heavy metal part in the stuff you're making, but I hear the Ramones, Velvet Underground, that kind of stuff is a little
yes,
closer. But yours has almost a more dreamy sort of feel to it. That's kind of a little bit more modern in some ways. There's a lot of dream pop now that sounds somewhat similar, but the sound quality is really, really where I find it interesting. But anyway, so you consider yourself you're mostly a music. You're just passionate about music, but you're not a musician. Although you have family that's musician. And I've studied at some point. This is a very common thing I see is in AI you have you'll have maybe half of the people who are really really deep into it are actual musicians. Like they got into it because they want to basically take their own music and do some sort of enhancement or whatever. And then you have the other half, which are people like me and you and a lot of other people in our Discord as well, who were super into music, had a lot of passion about music, have a lot of opinions about music, have lots of very emotional connections to songs, and now you get to make it, and it's in a way that's relatively not everyone has time to spend 10 years learning how to play guitar as well as someone who's a member of one of these premier bands. But being able to still see a vision laid out is very, very pleasant. And you make a great point about it being definitely going to be positive for people as they age in terms of neuroplasticity. You're doing something that's fundamentally alien to what anyone as a kid growing up, even my age, even people younger than me would have ever imagined. I would have never imagined anything like this. My brain was completely unprepared for it. But it's changed the way I think about things. So it's definitely a good point. Okay, so here's that leads me to another important question is, do you have like a technique that you use when you're prompting now? I notice your music comes out really, really good, but your prompts often are like tiny, like cut and paste was a prompt I see all the time. Is it just you just prompt, like what made you put cut and paste, and how do you what's your method basically is my question.
Well, when I started Suno, I just wanted to write song to my kids. And I made two albums for them. For my elder daughter, about the love of Echo and Narcissus.
Wow.
Because she likes Greek culture very much, and she likes languages and other things. So it was I couldn't do. I didn't know what I do really. Nothing. I wrote the.
You just wrote down
text.
some ideas and saw what came out basically.
Yes, it was crazy. It wasn't good at, and I published it on Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify.
Because she told me that she can hear it at the school. So
that's nice.
And later I started wondering that I can creating song for myself, just to learn English.
Yeah.
Because I never wrote a poem in my language, in my mother language, in my mother tongue. And I'm very good in Hungarian because I'm very educated, skilled person. I learned philosophy. I had a PhD in literature. I got lots of artist friend, and I don't use my language because I wanted to learn English. My English is broken, it's terrible, so I don't hear. But I don't hear most of the time the rhymes. There are real. Okay.
No, I understand because the cadence is different. The flow of the language. So if I listen to a poem in Chinese, for example, it would be a challenge for me to hear the flow, even if I know some of the words. So this makes sense. Yes. So you were interested in English poetry or things like that, getting a better appreciation for that, or just you wanted to learn something new.
Some of my lyrics came from English poetry.
Okay.
I read the poems like Shakespeare. It was there. I got a song. What is the title? When your heart gently bleeds. It is from the sonnets of Shakespeare and John Donne.
Okay.
So they are inspiring me. And I tried to write something like this.
Yes.
And 90% of my songs about the lyrics, because I work 3, sometimes 9 versions of these lyrics because I change them every time. I iterate when I start reading a song. It's not one style prompt and one lyrics, but minimum 3 different style, and minimum 3 different, little bit different lyrics.
Okay.
And I start to iterate it because later, when I started to write song for myself, it wasn't easy because it's strange to. You are a poet, so maybe you think it different way, but it's strange to talk about emotions or anything else. It's not me. I'm an old style man.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, I'm the toxic masculinity myself.
Hey, I
And
respect for all. I get it. I get it. It's everyone's different. Everyone's built differently. But it's good that you're exploring writing. I mean, that's it is hard though. I think in the beginning for many.
yes, so it is a woman. Always, it is not a man who's singing this song.
Right.
Always, because it's a different person. It's not me. I'm writing lyrics for a woman.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
and when I finished the lyrics, I start to creating the music, and I planned how it will be something. So it's not just one, but always, the music is one dimensional. It is in time,
Yes.
but in Suno, there are tokens, and the tokens are in a very
Complex space.
it's in a
Yes.
matrix. Yes, it's a very
Yes.
complex matrix, and there are connections inside the text.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if these connections are a little bit broken, then Suno don't know what to do with it.
Right. Right.
I, I didn't realize it in the first time. So when I started to play with the Suno, there was a time when I think it's enough.
Right.
I can do everything. But there was an Elizabeth. She was an artist, and I liked her music very much. Sometimes I hear Elizabeth songs, and I went back and I started thinking that maybe I can explore something else. I tried to creating songs in a new way because everyone writes heavy metal song or a techno song, and these songs are very popular. So there are likes and likes and likes. I think this like thing is not too good for the Suno because
Yeah.
it's great because you think that it is important, but no, it is about the music and not.
Right.
But
It's
it's not.
it's what brings people to Suno. You need to have good music. I agree. I agree. 100%.
Yes, and when you start, but Suno is, I think, is a very good thing. It can change the music,
Yeah.
but if you try to imitate all the old music,
Yeah.
then it will be only the same.
Right.
What can I do? How can we create a new kind of music? And I try to explore some new ways of new techniques to write music. And it worked.
Yeah.
It was strange. And it was the point when I think, okay, it is good for my brain. I can,
You can explore with
I
it. You
can,
can play with it. Yes.
yes, because it's always a new task, a
It has
new,
depth.
yes, and when I, and then there were lots of real artists. Some of them are genius,
Yeah.
really, like Alex Dyers.
Yeah.
And I heard their music and what they do, and I said, okay, I can do it. And I want to play with these young, talented people because I'm old. But the music will change, and these geniuses will change the music, and I would like to be part of that. Not like an artist, like a star or anything. It's
Right.
just
It's just making cool music. Like making
yes.
incredible stuff. Yeah.
Yes, because most of them, like Cracker Mix or the others, they are real. Real. I think the future is their music,
I agree.
and it was so good that they think that I
We do. We
should do
really liked
something.
your stuff. I would say that recently you and Lucid Dreamer is another great example, and GTZY. There's a lot of people that we've been finding recently. It's hard to find them because Suno has as you mentioned, the like problem. You have all this music, where people focus on the likes and they game the system, and then it's hard for me to find music like yours. But I very much enjoyed your music. It was definitely something I hadn't heard before, and what stood out to me was well, number one, the fact that most of the people that I showed it to were like, "That's incredible! It's really nice." But yeah, there's a certain dreaminess to it that I really, really enjoyed. But it's interesting to hear that you basically, your journey was originally, I'm going to make some stuff for my kids. And then it came to, this tool, the way people are using it, it's not just a shallow tool, like it's presented on the front page of Suno. It's the whole thing itself is a much deeper tool. And there's also a whole bunch of other tools.
Yes.
There's a whole space. It is going to change the world. I think it takes people a while to recognize that component, but the evidence becomes increasingly undeniable. I don't know whether there will even be music stars anymore, but the music itself, what you can make as an artist or just a person, is incredible right now already, and it's just getting better. So. So when you're working, my understanding is the two main components you're using, the two techniques you're using are, number one, you're iterating, and when you say that, I'm assuming you mean that are you changing your lyrics as you listen, or do you have your lyrics written and you just stick with it all the way through? In other words, as you iterate, do you alter
Yes,
your sheets?
iterate. But I got a plan. It's not working. I changed
Okay.
it. Lucid dream. I think he or she must be a musician.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, their stuff is very,
Because
very
I
good.
hear that.
And I think they use uploads. I think I've seen them use uploads before. We have a few musicians in there for sure. But yeah, I agree with you on Lucid. Yes, I think so. But
so good that
maybe I'll get him to interview sometime. That would be great.
okay, it's a good idea because he is a genius too. I think.
Yeah, he's got good stuff.
But so when I start the work, I got a plan. It will be 3 or 9 iteration. I know the style. How will I change it? And I got 3 or 9, 6 variation of the lyrics. And sometimes I change the words because I hear that it is not good. Sometimes it's funny because the rhyme is bad.
Right.
I think, ooh, my English is not the best. Okay, we can change. And not only the lyrics, but the structure.
Right.
Sometimes it was part of the chorus maybe, and now it is a drop. Or
Right.
You can change these things, and when you change the structure, then the music is changed with it.
Yes.
With this and the rhythm.
Yes, 100%.
So yes, and if these changes are little, not the whole structure, but little part of this, then it's starting. The Suno starts to hallucinate,
Right.
and it's.
Oh, are you talking about? Are you
and it's very.
Making changes in a cover, or are you making changes and doing it fresh each time, or are you doing an extend, like when you're making these iterations?
Covers
Cover
most
chains.
of the time.
Okay. So you're cover chaining, doing minor changes, and then you see it hallucinate lyrics.
Yes, not sometimes in the words, sometimes in the structure,
Okay.
or both, and with the style, and it's too big for sometimes it's too much for the Suno, but try to correct. Sometimes I cut inside the song.
Okay.
And it try to creating because it's when you cut into the song, it's strange, and Suno try to correct it.
Okay. When you say cut, you mean like do an extend or?
Pardon? I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it either. Yeah, we lost connection for a second. When you say cut, do you mean like using like edits, like you remove part of the song?
Yes.
Ah, okay, interesting. and then you just stitch it back together, and it tries to figure out what to
But
do.
little part,
Little parts. Okay,
just little parts.
interesting. And then you
Not
do
all
a
the
cover.
time. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, that's cool. That's something new. I
Uh,
haven't seen that before. I have not seen someone doing minor cuts, and it just makes it what breaks it a little bit out of its cycle. Or do you see what do you see results from that? Like more fresh sound, or
yes.
okay, interesting.
Yes. And changing the structure.
Mm-hmm.
This is the reason why I call it cut and loop.
Ah, okay. Now I understand. So that's not your prompt that you're using. That's just the final prompt, the last prompt. But you have a cover, a chain of covers before that, where you may use other styles on the way.
Yes, but most of the time there are no last style,
Okay.
because I try to creating from the earlier version of the songs.
Okay.
And if you do not use style, then it builds from the earlier versions
Right. It doesn't
and not
influence it as
the
much.
last.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Very interesting. So your technique is slightly different from some of the other people's I've heard. You're doing cover chaining. You're doing some different styles. You may change your lyrics, and you're using hallucinations. This is like the most interesting thing that I think people outside of generative AI communities don't see. That with AI, people are doing fundamentally unique things that are like impossible to do with that AI. The primary one being using hallucinations as a method to create new art. Which I think is it's kind of like the glitch art movement, which started in the
Yes.
90s,
It is.
and but taking it to like a whole other level. And so I think it's interesting to use those, and of course Alex uses them often to write lyrics, and other people have as well. And then on top of that, but the cutting thing, that's a new thing. So I may have to try that out. Just editing stuff, cutting things, shifting things around to just see what kind of effects you have on stuff. It's an interesting perspective because I think you're correct. Suno gets too set sometimes in like almost a boring sound. But if you shake it up a bit or get into a weird space, it can be very very interesting. So that is insightful. That is going to be useful. And my other question is, are there any artists on Suno or any other generative AI that, obviously excluding the ones that are already in Discord, that you think people should listen to or take a look at? If you have one. If you don't, I mean, there's not that many people to find on Suno, but if you have somebody you can that you would recommend, that would be
Well, my favorite was Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Really,
Okay, I
it
think
was
I
so
know her too.
simple.
I think
So,
I've seen her on there.
yes, because you know
It's a
I
similar
like.
sound.
Yes, it was very simple, and her music was always the same, but her lyrics was so. Sometimes the simple songs are very
Yeah,
good, and
100%.
um, most of the real the musicians. Most of the I like Alex Ayers very much, and Lucid, and the others, but you know them.
Yeah.
Maybe Elizabeth, and Elizabeth finished, so she
She's
is
done
not
with.
on
She
the
doesn't use
Suno.
Suno anymore.
No,
Interesting.
sometimes I don't know why. But I wanted to leave Suno because there was a time in the summer when I think that there are no way to creating new things on Suno, because
Right.
it's about because then I think that it is only the imitation.
Right.
And when I started the first song, when I started to try to do something else, was the "Fight for Your Love,"
Yes. Yes,
and
I
later,
remember. That was around when I noticed you. It was right after that. You had that one, and then there was a one with a picture of a crab on it. That was soon after that one. And you had a few of those. Right around that time was really interesting stuff started coming out of there. I was like, who is this? Because it was just out of nowhere. I still wonder how I found it. It must have been an accident, or maybe were you on the front page at some point? I can't remember. No, I
No.
don't know how I'm very very lucky that I saw it, but the stuff
I
is
found
good.
you.
Oh, maybe that. Okay, so maybe that's it.
You didn't find me. I find you.
Maybe it was a comments
And
because they brought comments on. Yes.
no, no comments. I made remix
Oh,
one
that's
of your
right.
songs.
Okay. Now I remember. Okay. Well, either way, that stuff really changed. I ended up using many of the sort of sounds from that song to create inspiration, like inspo playlists and stuff, to mix stuff together to create sort of like more sound. I just that particular sound was something I hadn't heard out of Suno before. It was very glitchy, but like in a way that's very clean. That I think Suno was. I didn't know Suno could do at that time. So anyway, I still think there's a lot more to come in terms of what people can get out of Suno, and I think that's a great example of it. And yeah, thanks for interviewing. Before we go, is there anything else basically about your experience that you think you would want to share about your process and creating or anything you would tell to a new person in generative AI that would help them to improve their abilities?
Don't know. I My father was a mathematician. My mother is a mathematician. My younger brother. I don't want to be a mathematician, but I work with math. And what I think the most beautiful thing in the world is the mathematical beauty. And in Suno, I tried to create song from mathematical things. I can't do that. I try. There are not good songs, and there are equations what has sound. And my next project is to try to creating song from the sound of mathematics.
That would be cool.
Really. And I think if you got some new idea, Suno is the best place for it because it will change the music forever. Like people like me, because I'm not a professional, I'm not an artist, but I can do something new with this. And if I can tell anything for the new person who will came here, musicians or artists, that there are lots of new ways, I think. So don't use prompt like pop.
Right. Yeah, do something new. Yeah. Do something like really
Yes.
dig deep and find something fresh. I think that's definitely one of the best, I think, starting points for most people, because like you said, you almost just fell off because there's a certain point where you're looking at it, especially if you're only looking at the front page and you think like, well, so this is just basically you can make stuff that already exists. You can make it sing silly words, but you can't actually use it to create new art. And I think once you realize that, there are people out there who are making stuff intentionally awful sounding sounds sometimes, just because they want to see what they can do, like which direction they can push. There's people doing crazy stuff, so I think that's great advice. So put something not pop, put something new and unique
Yes.
in there.
Uh,
And I'm looking
and
forward to
try
hearing the
not
math
to be
songs.
popular.
What was that?
Yes, and try not to be popular. If you, yeah, the start of um, the magic is inside the production. How you creating a song. If you got new techniques, then it will be good or bad, but something new. And
Right.
don't try to be new. Don't try to be good.
Right.
Uh,
Try to do
it,
something
it,
different.
Yes, yes, and now I think Suno is good for that, and this is the reason why it will change the music, and not because you can write songs like Elvis
Right. Right.
or Madonna.
No, 100%.
Oh,
Because no, you can just go listen to Elvis then. That's my take. I agree 100%. Or trying to make pop again. Well, there's a reason why certain pop was in the 1980s and a certain pop was in the 90s and if you want to be at the front of music and making something that's actually special, you want to make something that's different. They didn't create electronic music and then say let's make it sound like a guitar. That's not what they did. But it revolutionized music the same way. So yeah, I agree, and I do think you're going to see in the next couple of years. You already see a few things, but it's not really so big. In a few years, we'll see real artists out there who are using generative
Yes.
AI and who are really making incredible stuff. So I mean, people are already making good stuff, but I mean stuff that I think people will have trouble not listening to because it'll be so interesting. That's my hope. All right, well, awesome. It was great talking to you, and
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll talk again in the Discord. And I'm going to check out and see if you can send me, if you have a link to Elizabeth, send it to me and I'll post it with a thing because I would love for people to be able to hear her songs.
Okay.
Awesome.